Hey, what's going on? E. Jones, bottom to the top hoops.
You already know, Elvis, we in the building.
Yo, L, man, we got a hot topic this week, man. Man, we know all the stuff been happening with Black Lives Matter. The NBA, as we talked about in previous episodes, has done a great job in spreading awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you get, 22 teams, plus player personnel, staff, referees, scorekeepers, everybody's involved with taking a knee before the game, wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and doing a silent protest.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a great idea. What was your initial thought in terms of them allowing that to happen?
I mean, I like what they're trying to do. They're trying to show the support, and they're trying to show that they're behind it, as an organization. So, I mean, I thought that was definitely appreciated.
And then a step further, they asked the players, hey, we're going to give you a bunch of things that you can choose from to put on the back of your jersey, say her name, equality, my life matters, all of that stuff. So one player decides, you know what? I'm not going to kneel for the anthem. Jonathan Isaac, Orlando Magic, he's been known across the time that he played at Florida State and throughout his career as somebody who has a strong spiritual background. And he cited that he felt that all of us were made in the image of God, and he didn't think that wearing the shirt or kneeling was in line with what he thought as Black Lives Matter. It's just like you can't blame anybody for how they feel, but I definitely have an opinion on it. I'm curious to know, L, what was your thoughts when you heard about it?
When I heard about it, I mean, it was kind of like a 50-50. I have to be honest.
Okay.
Because one thing that he said was, the only person I'm going to kneel to is God.
I respect that.
I respected that.
You gotta respect that, bro.
Once he said that, kind of threw everybody else in the ocean. Because
you have to fall back off of him for a minute.
Yeah, you have to, because at the end of the day, we can't say everyone is entitled to their own opinion and their own way of thinking. And it's not like he's saying, no, I'm not doing it because I don't feel like it. He's not saying that.
No, he never said that.
He said, I'm not doing it because it doesn't sit or in alignment with what I believe in my belief system.
Which you can't fault a man for. When you fall back on it's like you tell a kid, yo, we got practice Sunday. I got to go to church. Coach automatically is like, yo, all right, well, I guess you just got to miss practice on Sunday.
Yo, pray for the team.
Yo, I don't know if you remember some years back, there was a guy that they used to call Jewish Jordan. His name was Tamir Goodman. He had an opportunity to play for the University of Maryland, but he said, I can't play on Sundays. So he was dead set on that. He wound up going to, I think, the University of Delaware, and he played professionally in Israel. But he turned down that scholarship because he was that deep into his spirituality in terms of the Jewish, Sabbath.
Gotcha.
So I think this falls in line with something like that. But I think this is like, here's the other side of it, L. I respect the fact that he has enough guts to stand on his belief, right? And go against what everybody's doing. Because it's easy to just be like, all right, I'll wear the shirt, I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to just get this over with, whatever. He's like, no, this is how I feel. And then he also cited, I took the time to think about it and really give it some real, like, ponderance. And I came up with, it's not in line with what I think. So I got to respect him for that. Now, on the other side, it's like, I believe he's from the South. So he probably comes from a spiritual background, if he's spiritual, for maybe one or two generations. And you might have seen, or he may have seen, his parents come up in conditions or some racism that have happened. And now it's the time that this is at the forefront. And here it is, you are a big star with a voice, and you have an opportunity to speak out. So what bigger platform than television, what bigger platform than the NBA? What bigger platform than being a young black man? I think he's like 24 years old, that people are looking up to and listening to say, what should I do?
Yes.
Because I believe you said it in one of the other interviews, Al, they're listening to the rappers.
Yeah.
They're listening to the ball players.
Yeah.
And that's why I got to give credit to LeBron James, because I'm okay with the kids listening to him. The example he's setting is a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
I have to look at reality. Reality is he understands he has a platform because he's an NBA ball player. He's on television. So we can't tell him how to utilize his voice. We can't. That's his way of doing it. You know what? I'm going to be an individual because I don't stand for anything that's going on. We don't know what was playing in his mind when he decided to make that choice.
Right.
But like I said, I don't knock the choice because at the end of the day, we're talking about him now.
Yeah, relevance. But now, Al, let's go to the other side of it.
Okay.
Jonathan Isaacs had suffered a knee injury prior to this one that just happened. He doesn't kneel, and in the game that he doesn't kneel, he sustains a torn ACL.
Wow.
So he could have hurt his back, could have hurt his leg, could have hurt his ankle, his Achilles, his arm. He hurt his knee. So you know how sometimes they send me a sign. Like I don't know, Al. I don't know, but I don't believe in coincidence either. So when he hurt his knee, Al, you got to understand, I was watching a game. And for maybe 2 minutes, I just was sitting there, mouth open, like, man, like, what's going through his head at this very moment? And I'm believing he's a strong-willed enough kid to say, this is what God ordained to happen. I suffered a knee injury. That's the way God wanted it. I'm going to face this. But won't change his stance on the kneeling. But what does that do for everybody else?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? What is everybody else looking at? Like, oh, man, number one, like, God going to do what he want to do with your life. That kid may never play ball again. And the last thing you might hear of him was not taking a knee. I believe he's a strong, intelligent young man from a good background, so he'll be successful in whatever he does. So God bless him, and I wish him a recovery.
Yeah, definitely.
But on a bigger issue, Al, I think this begs to the question, with these kids, man, and this is what I really wanted to get to, these kids have voices, man. You take an Isaiah Washington, Jelly Day. Like, does he take the time to talk about Black Lives Matter? Does he have mentors in his life to tell him, yo, you got 600,000 followers. What can you do positive to create a legacy for yourself and business opportunities going forward? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, right, you work so hard to create content and gain a following. Now what do you do with it?
Yeah, that's the key.
What do you do with it? So now, for all of the people, Al, I would just like you to share, if you could, because I know you've mentored a lot of young people over your time through coaching and teaching and working in the Board of Ed. What do you think the best use of your social media platform at this time if you're somebody who has a lot of followers?
Speak your mind. Say real things.
Okay.
Don't utilize your platform for things that doesn't make a difference, that doesn't mean anything. This is the time for us now to be more conscious as a people. And, each one teach one.
Yes.
If I got a platform, then I should be only putting out what's going on. Like, what's up with Shorty, with
Tiana Taylor.
Like, what's going on with her? Why is those guys still not locked up?
Yeah.
Why do you expect us to continue to go on like her life didn't mean anything?
Right.
That's what you utilize your platform for, or George Floyd. Why is it that this guy worked with the cop who had his knee on? So he was already jealous. They already had a personal relationship. So therefore there was something more than just a cop finding him with a check and feeling the need to put his knee on him. It was way bigger than that. But these are not the issues that we're not touching on. We're touching on trying to send kids back to school in the middle of a pandemic. This is what we're dealing with.
Well, Al, very well said, first of all. I think it's one thing that I took from what you said is, let's make the main thing, right? Yeah, we got to get the kids back to school because this is having all kind of effects on families, because people don't even deal with the mental health aspect of what's happening from Black Lives Matter, from the pandemic. People are just emotionally a wreck right now.
Yeah.
Thank God, right? We've been able to sustain, still provide content, do our thing, but it doesn't mean that we're immune and we're not affected, right?
Absolutely.
You're scared for your mom. I'm scared for my mom. My dad is older. So we're affected. We just may be able to just kind of have some thick skin to just push through and just deal with it and move on. But some people may not be as, resilient as us. And that doesn't make us any better. It just means that we may cope with this better.
Yeah.
And another thing is, hey, kids, you guys can do whatever you guys want. Post your songs, post your funny stuff, post all of that stuff. But in the midst of that, man, take a minute to post something that's going to have some relevance, some significance, something that's going to move our people forward if you have a voice to do it. Because you want to be known as somebody who took a stance and who stood for something. Because you know what they say, right, El? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And they'll hit you with a banana in the tailpipe. So
It's a fact.
El, we talk sports for how long, El? A year.
Yeah.
We changed gears, and I'm going to give you the credit because I know you were really pushing for that. And every couple of weeks, we try to tie in something with some social relevance so that people understand that, you know what, we're not just ball players. We're not just sports people. We're not just journalists. We're people who has a mind and a heart that feel like, you know what, this is important for us to use our voice and our platform to create social change. And
Absolutely.
it may be 3 people that we educate, but guess what, man? That's change.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to emphasize, I feel the movement. I love the Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
But all lives matter.
Yes.
This is what we need to stand on. All lives matter. We don't need to separate Black lives from Hispanic lives, from Caucasian lives. No, every single human being, life matters. And that's what we need to be pushing.
You know what, El? I'm going to put a caveat to that. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say, yes, they do. But all lives don't matter. Not right now. And the reason I say that is because before this, Black lives didn't matter. It's obvious, right?
Well, let's be real. If Black lives didn't matter, we wouldn't be 80% of entertainment.
Well, they still don't respect us the way they should. So I'm saying this. We can entertain you. You can watch us play basketball, but when do we get a seat at the table? A real seat.
Retribution, baby, it's coming.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that all lives do matter. And when you finally allow us a seat at the table and you respect us for more than just our physical gifts or our ability to entertain. And I mean, I don't think I ever felt like all lives didn't matter. But I have felt in my lifetime that people didn't think my life mattered. You know what I'm saying? So I felt it. I felt like like, you know what? This could be the day.
Mm.
Pulled over by the cops, highway, just me and the cops, like not scared, but just bracing myself, like whatever go down, it's just what it is.
You know, and that's sad, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's very sad to live in a place where you have to fear people who are put here, who you're paying their salary to protect you. And that's why it's so sad when we look at, like, just as a whole, what we see, because, like, are people retarded? Like, you can act like you don't see what's going on, but you have to be stupid or retarded. Like, tell us, okay, we're going to make changes, and then don't make changes. But don't act like you don't see what's going on. You know, that's when you know it's a systematic problem. You know how you sew a jacket together? Mm-hmm. Well, that's proving it's already in the thread of who America is. Because look at how we're taking to it. We're not getting any empathy. We're not getting, you know what, they're right. We're not getting that. Everybody's acting like, oh, yeah. Act like you don't hear them. That's what's going on at the top. Whether people want to deal with the reality of that or not, that's what's going on at the top. Hey, if we act like we don't hear them, maybe they'll go back to normal.
It's not back to normal. We don't want normal. Normal didn't work for us. You know, a good friend of mine, it was a smaller issue, Al, said to me, you know, they opened all of the New York City parks, and it was a specific area that didn't open up the parks because they were privately owned.
Absolutely.
And they said they got 2 days to respond. And I listened and I said, okay. The next day, I saw that person on News 12 in front of that park.
Wow.
Using her voice to say, like, no, you're not just going to just do, like, I'm a tax-paying, I pay rent, these facilities belong to the people, and you're not going to do these kids like this. The person does not even have children. Which made it even more significant because she was standing up for the people that was the voiceless.
But we got to stand up as a people.
Who are activists and who are willing to do something for the greater good. Because it's not only.
But you know what it is too? I mean, I love that she did that, but us as a whole, we have to stand together as a people.
Yes.
We're not together, but we're supposed to be together. You're taking our dollars every week, every 2 weeks. You know, we're paying taxes for you guys to govern us, to help us, to lay out a solid foundation for everyone to try to live a quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not that way. We're constantly seeing poverty. We're constantly seeing homelessness. We're constantly seeing people who don't have food.
We have given everybody an extra $600 on unemployment for how many ever weeks that they've given it. So they've gotten this money for, I don't know, 3 months?
Let's just say 5 months.
Right? Because it started in March, April.
Let's say 5 months.
Yeah. And they just extended it, and they're doing $400 until December. They just signed an executive order for that yesterday.
Okay, but let me say this to you, E. Every other country, the government is paying for the citizens so that the numbers don't increase. Here in America, we were able to get $3 trillion, not billion. So therefore, we should be able to literally have all of our students stay home and be taught from remotely. Anyone who's essential workers that's not on the front line should be able to collect unemployment, because this is the way the money is already set up. We got the money.
But guess what, El? If we had this money, it didn't just disappear from nowhere. So access to it was available. Why have we had the homeless population? Why wasn't the cure for cancer, the cure for AIDS? Like, you could find the cure for these viruses But cancer is just that hard to cure.
No, cancer is the one they make the most money off of, with the chemo and all of that stuff.
And I've had more than 5 family members pass away from cancer, and it's a dreaded disease. And I say to myself often, like, man, you look at this pandemic, I'm guaranteeing there'll be some type of a drug or a vaccine by January. So if you can do this in 1 year, and this is killing hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions across the world, but you can't, like, how long has cancer been around? And it's like, oh, we made strides, oh, we got, but the money's in the medicine. You telling me that with these brilliant minds, no pun intended, we can't find a cure for cancer? Man, I just find it very challenging and frustrating at times that, when you're on the bottom of the totem pole, and we're probably not even at the bottom, L. We've been there.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, I'm going to leave off with this. And
parting shot. Go ahead, L.
I don't want to go too deep, but one thing I gotta emphasize to people who's watching this. I've heard people talk about, well, why don't you guys do your own thing?
Well, we tried.
When we do the Brilliant Mind show, we're going to expose Black Wall Street.
Right.
And how they went in there, burned it down, and killed all of those people, and no one went to jail. But when we go out there and peacefully protest, you want to have police officers with rifles. Donald Trump's talking about bringing in the armed guards. Come on, give me a break. It's like the world is just, like America's a joke.
L, I'm looking at your face right now, and you look like you're just tired of it.
Yeah,
it's frustrating, and your face is exactly how I feel. But you know what, L? God bless you for taking the time to not just take it on the chin and not speak up. Because you could just say, I'm good. Like, yo, got my job, doing all right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's healthy, doing our thing. We moving up, bottom to the top hoops. We got a lot of stuff going on, but it ain't just about that. It's about what can we do for the next Elvis Blount, the next Jones. So they, you know what I mean? Well, that's my line. Hov did that. So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that.
Absolutely.
So, we paving the way, man. So we touched on a lot of things, from the Black Lives Matter, the NBA and what they've done, using your platform for raising awareness and just being aware and keeping your eyes open, man. Fight the good fight as long as you can. If you are on the side of what's right, man, understand that being pro-Black doesn't mean anti-anything. It's just it's just time for us to love us.
Exactly, that is it.
We never didn't love y'all, but we just trying to love us a little bit more.
We're just trying to love ourselves.
There you go. Yo, man, this is a very, I feel good about letting that off, Al.
Good.
It's E. Jones.
Your boy Black Elvis. Want to shout out the crew. Shout out Dom. Shout out Steve. We working. We filming this week. We getting back to it, man. We trying to stay clear of Corona.
There you go.
Stay blessed. And you already know. Shout out to God, man.
Yo, shout out to D. Jones, Jerry McCullough, the whole City Legends crew. Appreciate everybody, man. Make sure you subscribe. YouTube, Apple TV, Spotify. And we got a big announcement coming. Yo, big. Yo, man, let's keep working, man. Appreciate you, brother. We out.